जय हिंद एवरीवन, वेलकम टू इंटेलेक्ट। हम इस चैनल पर हर रोज मॉर्निंग में एक एक टॉपिक का सुपर फास्ट रिवाइज करेंगे क्योंकि टाइम कम है, एग्जाम पास है। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं। व्हाट इज द मेन फोकस ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स? रिसोर्स एलोकेशन। हु इज नोन एज द फादर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक? एडम स्मिथ। व्हाट डज जीडीपी स्टैंड फॉर? ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट। व्हाट इज ए जनरल राइज इन प्राइस कॉल्ड इन्फ्लेशन? व्हाट इज ए जनरल प्राइस फॉल इन prices called deflation? What is economic slowdown for 2 quarters called recession? What is the desire to buy goods and services called demand? What is the availability of goods for sale called supply? What market has only one seller? Monopoly. What market has few sellers? Oligopoly. What market has many sellers and buyers? Perfect competition. What type of economic has both public and private sector? Mixed economic. What is the total income of a country called national income? What is the income of left after taxes called disposable income? What policy deals with government revenue and expenditure? Fiscal policy. What policy controls money supply? Monetary policy. Who regulates monetary policy in India? RBI. What is the interest rate at which RBI lends to banks? Repo rate. What is the rate at which RBI borrows from banks? Reserve repo rate. What is the minimum cash banks must hold with RBI? CRR. What is the percentage of reserve bank must maintain? SLR. What occurs when expenditure exceeds revenue? Budget deficit. What is the difference between export and imports? Balance of trade. What includes all economic transaction with the world? Balance of payment. What is income not declared to authorities called black money? What is legal income called white money? What is environmentally sustainable GDP called green GDP? What refers to skill and education of people? Human capital. What is the process of increasing capital asset? Capital formation. What is the reduction in asset value over time called depreciation? What is increase in currency value called appreciation? What tax is paid directly by individuals? Direct tax. What tax is paid indirectly by goods and services? Indirect tax. What tax replaced multiple indirect tax in India? GST. In which year was GST implemented in India? 2017. What is financial support from government called subsidy? What is investment by foreign companies called FDI? What is foreign investment in share called FII? What is selling government shares called disinvestment? What is transfer of ownership from public to private? Privatization. What is removal of restriction of economic called liberalization? What is worldwide economic integration called globalization? What refers to overall improvement in living standard? Economic development. What refers to increase in national output? Economic growth. What index measures human well-being? HDI. Who publishes the HDI report? UNDP. What replaced Planning Commission in India? Niti Aayog. When was Niti Aayog formed? 2015. What body planned India's 5-year plans earlier? Planning Commissioner. What organization regulates international trade? WTO. What organization offers loans to countries? IMF. What institution supports global development? World Bank. What is the minimum income level called? Poverty line. What is the state of being jobless called? Unemployment. What is the hidden unemployment in agriculture called? Disguised unemployment. What is joblessness during specific season? Seasonal unemployment. What is unemployment due to lack of skills? Structural unemployment. What is partially use of labor potential called? Underemployment. What is a situation with zero involuntary unemployment? Full employment. What is the cost of producing one more unit? Marginal cost. What is cost of the next best alternative? Opportunity cost. What is a satisfaction derived from the goods called utility? What laws set diminishing output per unit? Law of diminishing returns. What inflation is due to rising production cost? Cost push inflation. What inflation results from excessive demand? Demand pull inflation. What branch of economics studies individual? Microeconomics. What branch studies the economy as a whole? Macroeconomics. What is the system of trading goods for goods? Barter system. What is the medium used in exchange of money? What is India's central bank? RBI. What bank offers services to the public? Commercial banks. What banks work for rural and agriculture sector? Cooperative banks. What are financial institutions without a banking license? NBFC. S. What is the market where shares are traded? Stock exchange. Who regulate capital market in India? SEBI. What is controlling inflation by targeting prices? Inflation targeting. What is the year used for comparison called? Base year. What index measures wholesale price level? WPI. What index measures consumer price level? CPI. What is fall in currency value by government? Devaluation. What is increase in currency value by government? Revaluation. What is excess of imports over export? Trade deficit. What is excess of export over imports? Trade surplus. What is management of government finances called? Public finance. What economy operates freely without interference? Market economy. What economy is run by the government? Command economic. What compares currency value using price level? PPP. What are foreign currency reserves called? Forex reserves. What is money sent by home by migrants called? Remittance. What is the the gap between spending and revenue? Fiscal deficit. What is fiscal deficit minus interest payment? Primary deficit. What is shortfall in government revenue? Revenue deficit. What is the money spent on asset creation called? Capital expenditure. What is spending on daily government functions? Revenue expenditure. What is investment in new startup called? Venture capital. What is a debt instrument issued by company? Bond. What is a unit of company ownership? Share. What is profit distributed to shareholders called? Dividend. What pulls money from investor to invest? Mutual fund. What was India's inflation rate in 2024? Around 5%. तो दोस्तों ये थी आज इकोनॉमिक का 100 शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर एनी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशन इफ यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग। अगर ये वीडियो आपको इन्फॉर्मेटिव लगा है तो लाइक शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना। मिलते हैं कल मॉर्निंग में एक नए टॉपिक के साथ, तब तक के लिए जय हिंद।